Now I tried to do a voiceover for this workout, but all you could hear in the background was my washing machine going absolutely off chops. So I had to do it again, but it's all good. So today's session really focused on building the glutes and also the hamstrings. Started off on some deadlifts. What you're seeing now is just me warming up. Just started off with the bar before I added a little bit of weight. Whenever you do deadlifts and you are working up to a pretty heavy set, make sure that you are warming up really slowly and you are slowly progressing the weight every set. The reason why you want to do this is going to mitigate any chance of you developing an injury. If you're developing an injury, you're losing gains just because you're not going to be hitting the session with a high level of intensity and you're going to have to start back at square one again. So if you ever do want to put on strength and size, my biggest tip would be to always try to lift injury free. Before I even touched any weight or the bar, I started off with 10 minutes of mobility. I did not film it, but I will, however, put it in the description below. As you can see now, I'm just adding a little bit of weight. Every single time I do add some weight, I'm always making sure that I'm keeping the reps similar to the ones prior. Activating through my upper back and my scapulars, keeping my hips low, and always keeping my chest up. That way I'm keeping a nice straight back. No matter what the weight is, it's always got to look the same, even if you are going for a PR. Whenever you do deadlifts, squats, or even bench, you want to give yourself the right to move up in weight. As you're seeing here, this is going to be my last warm-up set before I get into my first working set. So in my warm-up sets, I'm only doing about 3 to 5 reps, just really trying to get the central nervous system nice and warmed up. So here we go, first working set, trying to make the rep look very similar to when I had no weight on the bar. So every rep needs to look the same. A few cues that you need to think about when you are doing a deadlift is really think about retracting your shoulder blades back and down into the spine before you start the lift. Take a deep breath in, breathe down into your belly, bring your hips down slightly but not too far down. And you want to make sure that you're pressing through the whole of your foot, even your toes. What that's going to do is going to give you a nice strong base of support, which is going to allow you to lift the weight a whole lot easier because you're more stable. I'm doing touch and go deadlifts today just because I'm trying to keep the tension on the hamstrings and the glutes the whole time. If you are trying to learn the form and the technique of the deadlift, I'd highly recommend that you don't do touch and go and you start each rep from a dead stop. That way you can really be a lot more mindful of ticking all of the boxes during every rep that you do. Working up now to my second set, added 10 kilos to it, so I'm slowly progressing in weight as I decrease my reps. Again, trying to make this set a little bit better than the set previous. If you suffer from lower back pain or if you can't seem to get the deadlift to feel right for you, what I'd highly recommend that you do is to film every session that you do deadlifts and then have a look back on your technique and your form and see if you can spot any technique breakdown. So see if you can spot where your back starts to curve or when your hips rise a little bit too early. That way it's equipping you with the knowledge on what you need to rectify for the next session where you do deadlifts. So that was a really great technique that really helped with my deadlift. I've been training for quite some time now and I have done hundreds of sessions that have involved the deadlift move. I still have not perfected and mastered the movement. There's still a long way for me to go, so you got to treat every session as an opportunity just to learn something new and learn what you need to be doing for the next time. If you are constantly in a state of wanting to learn, you are going to progress a lot quicker than if you don't really think about what you're doing or don't think about methods that you can do to help you progress with your sessions. So I added a little bit more weight here, bumped it up a little bit more. This time I'm going for 8 reps here. So this weight was starting to get fairly heavy. I could start to feel a lot of the tension start to build in my lower back, which is an indicator that I am starting to approach a weight that may be a little bit too heavy for me to control. So you want to also be mindful of how your body is reacting during and after your sets. Always be thinking about how the weight felt and how the body moved. Coming up to my last set here. This time I'm going for 6 reps. Whenever you are doing deadlifts and you really want to get stronger with them, try to minimize the amount of times that you're using a weight belt. The reason why you want to do this is it's going to make your core have to work a lot harder. So if you can build up to a very strong deadlift without having to resort to a weight belt, when you do go to throw a weight belt on, the next time you do the session, you're going to be a lot stronger. So it's going to increase your performance just because you have created such a solid base and foundation without using the equipment.